All right. Hey everyone, how's it going? Thanks for listening to the show. I'm here with Eric B. What's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
Before we start, a couple of things. Buy my albums on iTunes, and also I have a Substack blog now you can go to and
Oh, nice.
subscribe. And there's excerpts from my book, The Manny Diaries, which is kind of like, remember the Nanny Diaries?
Yeah,
It's like that, but from like a male perspective.
Diddy.
Yeah,
Oh,
so Diddy got arrested, I guess, two days ago.
mm-hmm.
And I love this when like huge celebrities like just completely bottom out. It's like fun to watch, you know.
Yeah.
And there's been rumblings about him for a while. I'm amazed. And did you see what the charges are? I mean, it's pretty bad. Like this seems like a big one. This
This,
seems like he's not going to
yeah,
get out of it.
I thought he was. I didn't hear anything for a while, so I was like, I guess it's fine. But they built a case against him, I guess. What were the charges? Let's see.
It's like sex trafficking. I mean, it's everything horrible. It's like
Yeah.
sex trafficking and sexual abuse, and hired sex workers and made people have sex with them, and then blackmailed people. And he would do these parties where he would force people. I guess he would kind of force people to have sex or coerce them to have sex in these freak offs.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And like he just make people have sex like all the time until they were like drained, worn out. Um, it's like, man, that doesn't sound like that much fun.
He was indicted for sex trafficking, racketeering, conspiracy. I don't know, and transportation to engage in prostitution. All right, I don't know what that means, but
And also petty larceny too. They didn't give him bail, which is a huge
yeah.
deal. So he's just going to be in jail till the trial happens.
Yeah, and I was reading they were saying that he's in danger in prison.
I saw that too, but like, isn't everyone kind of in danger in
Yeah.
prison? I feel like that was kind of the whole point of prison.
Right, right.
Like they're like,
Well,
he's in danger. Like, yeah, that's what jail is. That's why people want to get. That's why they're like, I'll give you $1 million to let me out of here.
yeah, and if he likes having sex with dudes, this he might be the right place for him, you know?
He's not going to need any more strap-ons, that's for sure. Because that was one of the stories where he beat up some girl because she wouldn't fuck him with a strap-on.
Oh
That seems
no.
like an odd like.
Oh God.
I mean, maybe she's tired from the freak off.
Uh,
Um,
see,
but
Hampton sex parties featuring gay rappers who are high on ketamine. It's just like every felony possible is committed in these things, you know?
yeah, while murdering a
Yeah.
puppy
Yeah.
and
Plot
eating pets.
plotting to kill the president, you know?
Yeah. Seems like he's thinking about it, he was been famous for so long. Remember, like it was like the '90s that he was like hugely famous.
Yeah, and I like some of his songs, but I always thought his biggest talent was as a comedic actor. In those two movies, I thought he was great
Get
in
him
those
to the
movies.
Greek.
And Made.
Oh yeah, you're right. He was good in those
Yeah.
movies. He's a really interesting like celebrity icon. He had a really cool career because he did the thing where like he became famous or really successful for being a producer, a music producer,
Mhm.
and then he just sort of like you know peripherally at first became like a celebrity figure. Like he was just kind of dancing around in music videos, and then he
Yeah,
I don't he what
they made like 20 songs about BIG's death, right? Like that one. Wasn't there other ones?
Yeah, he definitely made a career. That was the other thing. Like he was kind of around, and then when Big died, that was like the biggest boost to his career ever. It was
Right.
almost like he was basically in mourning for about 6 years, and all he did was go on interviews. He'd do interviews about how upset he was, and then he would do like a dance and sing. And he'd be, yeah, I'm just really heartbroken. I have a new album coming out with 12 new songs about how I just can't get over Big dying. It's like, wasn't
Yeah.
that 12 years ago? Like what?
Yeah, because his debut studio album, I guess, was his best-selling album, No Way Out, which that was I think where that song was on. That had a lot of hits.
That's kind of an ironic title after listening, hearing about these charges.
Yeah.
It's like he was basically telegraphing it to people.
But didn't
My
wasn't
new album called "Put Up, Fuck Me with the Strap On, or I'll Kill You."
but didn't BIG's last album wasn't that like Life After Death or something like that?
Yeah, he was definitely naming. He was doing a little of that. what is it, like almost prophesizing his demise because he was coming out with albums called like Ready to Die.
Yeah.
Ready to Die, then they murdered it. And it
Yeah.
was like Life After Death. And it's like, yeah, maybe Ready to Die wasn't the
Right.
best.
Yeah, no, and then the other, I'm gonna die in 3 weeks, gonna die in 2 weeks.
Yeah, that
It's
was
like
rough.
he put out an album every week before he died.
When Puffy came out with that song, I'm gonna kill Big in 3 weeks. I used to rap. I had a rap album called Not Ready to Die. Ready to live a while.
Yeah.
That's the thing in rap. It was a big thing. You had to like act like you like wanted to die and you just knew you were gonna die. And so he always kind of annoyed me. So, but anyway, he did that thing, and then Biggie dying was like the best thing that ever happened to him. And he said he was in mourning, but he never really looked that upset when I saw him. Like he even performed that song that you played at the beginning, which was the big, Big tribute song. That
Right. Wasn't there an
that's
MTV Music Awards and Sting sang on that too?
yeah. Sting came out, and
Yeah.
what was it, like 3 weeks after Biggie died, and Puffy's just out there like yeah yeah, and he's like dancing around. Like wow, it looks like you're kind of getting moving past it pretty quickly.
The funny thing is that was one of that whole album is basically like those, like how you always made fun of those songs where the song is just the best part of the song is the old song, right? So
Yeah,
that's Every Breath You Take. I think that whole album was a bunch of samples like that where
they
uh
just took a song that was they literally he just rapped over a song that was like already. He did that with the Led Zeppelin song.
yeah.
What's that song like? Dun-dun-dun,
Yeah.
dun-dun-dun, Cashmere, is that it?
Cashmere, yeah, I think that
And
was
he
it.
literally just he's like dun-dun-dun, he's like yeah yeah.
Yeah. And
But he's
you first hear the song, you're like, why do I like this song so much? Oh yeah, because it's been around forever.
yeah, because it's like the best song ever written.
Yeah, yeah. This was, and then that same album, then No Way Out, is Been Around the World. That was also like Been Around the World. And that was an old
Yeah.
song
And do you
too. Stuff.
remember the thing when he like he almost went to jail because him and J Lo were dating, right? First of all, she really knows how to pick them. Like she was dating him, and then they were at a nightclub, I guess, and then he shot someone at the nightclub
Oh, really?
in the face. He shot some woman in the face. Like, that's pretty bad, dude. Like, what do you like? It's one thing to like, you're famous and you're just in public and you're just shooting people in the face, and then I guess the cops chased them and he convinced they had a gun in the car and he convinced this rapper guy Shine who was on his label to like say it was his gun.
Oh no, really?
And so Shine took the fall, apparently. Like they said Shine did it, but apparently there's like people say that he didn't really do it, that he did it to protect Puffy. And then I think he just completely abandoned him.
Sure.
And then J Lo broke up with him, I guess, because I guess shooting people in the face wasn't good for her image or something. But this hasn't happened in a while. I've kind of missed this. I was saying before, like when there's a huge celebrity that's complete, like there's a huge scandal that takes them down. Like this is like Weinstein level, or because they're saying that some cop is quoted as saying he saw the sex dungeons, which all right, that's a bad start. You have a sex dungeon, and like he was like, it's as bad as Epstein. And he's staying in the same jail that I guess Ghislaine Maxwell was in.
Oh God. Well, what do
The
you have
sex
to?
dungeon jail. What?
What qualifies for a sex dungeon? What do you need? I mean,
I have no idea. I mean,
well, it's
you're
got to be
asking the wrong
underground, right?
guy.
It's got to be a dungeon, right? No
Yeah,
windows.
those are underground, right?
Right.
I don't know. Like, remember Pulp Fiction when they kidnap Bruce Willis and Ving
And the
Rhames?
gimp. Yeah.
Yeah, with that seems like a sex dungeon kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think it's just underground and dark and disgusting, and
All
someone's
right.
tied up.
And getting raped.
Yeah, probably. Well, that's where the sex part comes in. Do you remember that guy Thomas Middleditch? He was like a comedian, or he
Yeah.
is a comedian. He was in Silicon Valley. I remember when, like there was a minute where he was like almost going to get canceled. These women came forward, said he was really creepy to them or something.
Yeah.
There was some story where like he was going to this sex dungeon regularly, and he was so horrible that women who worked at the sex dungeon would complain, and like they would stop letting him in. And I'm like,
You get
how
thrown
bad
out.
do you have to be that like a place called Sex Dungeon isn't letting you in anymore? Like, look, You got to get out of here. You're making everyone at the sex dungeon feel uncomfortable. Like it's really creeping everyone out. Really, I'm not allowed in a sex dungeon. Is
Right,
that what's
right.
going on? So it is amazing that they always kind of have. I don't know if you know someone you hear they have a sex dungeon. Wouldn't you just kind of be like, I'm not going to that guy's house tonight?
Well, maybe he doesn't say it's a sex dungeon. Maybe you don't know until you when you get there.
I guess that's true. That's probably one of the. But you know, it doesn't sound like he killed people and he let them go. So I mean, people.
Right.
I don't know. I feel like the word would get out though. The only other thing I wanted to say about the Diddy thing is it's so weird because like you know when these guys get in trouble and it comes out that they're like raping everyone and abusing everyone and forcing people to have sex with them, it's just like again I always talk about it's like why what like Diddy had to like have a sex dungeon. Like I just feel like he could just sleep with people. You know what I mean? Couldn't you just go? You're at the MTV VMAs. You're dancing on the VMAs. Like just go outside.
Why does James Franco need an acting school to fuck women? I mean, I don't know. Power gets to you, man. It's not enough, I think.
That
Maybe just
reminds me. I want to plug my new acting school.
what is that?
Do you want to get into the Trump thing before we do? Can we? Do you want to talk about the M? Did you watch the Emmys at all?
I didn't watch it, but I just heard a lot. The thing that people complained the most about was the bear, that it
Yeah.
wins all, and it's not really a comedy.
The thing I noticed that really annoys me now is like now it's all movie stars.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Meryl Streep was there and nominated. I'm like, what are you doing? You're at the fucking Emmys?
Yeah, because the Emmys are now bigger than the Oscars. The
I know, but it's
Oscars,
just
no
like
one
that's
even seen most of
crazy.
some movies. What? I
But
know,
remember,
but
like when we were young in the Emmys, it was just very secondary. Like it was kind of like the Emmys, you know, it'd be
yeah.
like fucking like I don't even know who it would be like
Well,
you know,
everyone,
Gary Coleman would be there and
right.
Corbin Burnson. Now it's Meryl Streep.
Right. And every once in a while, there would be one kind of big movie actor that was in a TV show, and then they would always win all the awards because they just wanted to show everyone that they had big stars and stuff.
Yeah. Or what it
So,
would be is someone would be on a TV show and they would kind of accidentally or not act, they would somehow parlay that into a film career while the show was still on.
yeah.
Like Bruce Willis with Moonlighting was like he became a movie star almost by accident and then not you know he wanted to be but it wasn't like it didn't happen a lot.
But I think in the 90s, it changed when people started going on Seinfeld and especially Friends, like big movie stars because it was like a good career boost. Like they were big actors, but maybe they needed a little extra boost. That
But do you
happened a lot.
remember that it was kind of like the big thing was making the jump from TV to
Yeah.
movies and it was like impossible. Now it's like well I really want to get on TV, you know, like
But
maybe
that
one day.
but that's how it always was. It was like originally, if you read about it, it was theater, and the theaters people looked down on the movie people. They thought that was all scummy and cheesy. Then after a while, movies got big, and then they looked down on the TV people. And
Yeah.
now I don't think there's any, not, and we always talk about like the actors would never be in TV commercials in this country, big actors, because it was look
Yeah.
cheesy. There's no line anymore. So
There's some actors that like I feel like their whole career is just doing commercials. Like Jennifer Garner is just in
yeah,
commercials now.
right.
That's like her career. It's not even and honestly, it's probably a great career. She probably makes a lot of money and just kind of lives and takes care of her family. Kevin Hart, I mean, that guy can't do enough
Yeah.
commercials.
He's in a new
Um,
show. I was watching a little of that Fight Night on Peacock.
yeah, is it good?
Yeah, it's not bad.
Um,
Got a lot of good actors in there.
do you want to talk about do you want to talk about Trump and Vance at all? I mean, I know the whole thing is
I
we
mean,
haven't even had a show since he was some they said there was another assassination attempt, but I mean, it sounded like nothing. There was just some crazy guy. I mean,
right.
I guess he was going to try and kill him, but he didn't. You know, they acted like he got shot in the. You know, they just missed him again,
But
but
I think that story kind of wwent nowhere, really.
it did, yeah.
Because
And
there was
also, I
no,
love but the whole thing when like Vance is like, well, how come no one's trying to kill Kamala? Like, really? I can't even believe someone said that. Someone who's
Elon
trying to be
Musk,
vice
Elon
president.
Musk tweeted it out and had to took it down because that violates his own, and he has some rules of Twitter. You can't like,
Yeah.
tell someone to kill someone, but Yeah, I mean, it's just with
And
I
then,
think s-
did you see the thing where Vance is like, they need to tone down their rhetoric? I mean, it's
yeah.
just out of hand. Like, you can't call someone a fascist. And then they just show clips of literally every rally. He's like, she's a fascist, Marxist.
There's
She's going to ruin your.
communism. He's a fascist and a communist at the same time, which is you can't be that. But
They also say that, the rhetoric is what, like what the media is saying is to blame for these people trying to murder Trump. And it's like, but then when they arrest the guy and he just looks like a insane. First of all, wasn't he like a MAGA guy? He like
no,
voted for
this
what?
guy was a Democrat, I think. This last
But
guy,
he looks like he voted for Trump at one point. He's a
right,
Vivek guy though, apparently. So he's clearly insane. So
right,
like, they act like I don't think that guy was like reading the Atlantic,
yeah,
articles and was just like triggered to go kill Trump. You know what I mean? Like he might as well be a MAGA guy. He's basically
yeah.
has the exact same. It's the exact same temperament and
Profile. Yeah, there's one good piece of news this week where I was reading that these prediction markets that have become a big thing. You can bet on who wins and stuff.
yeah,
Uh, uh, right now, as of now, they have her winning by a lot, and they said that these things are usually pretty accurate. Of course, things can
really.
change. Things can change for the election, but I don't know. I'm still looking at some things, and it's like I don't know how this is still
I just feel
close.
like going into this, it's just going to be 50-50 the whole time.
Yeah,
I think a lot of people are just, they want to have some peace of mind of like, okay, we're going in, like and it's just like, I just don't think that see that happening, and it just nothing really changes the needle. And I have no idea. I mean, it's terrifying. It's really
it's
terrifying.
the if we because if she loses, I mean the day Trump won, the day you after how you felt and how everyone kind of in New York City felt.
You
I
mean
can't.
in 2016?
Yeah, I mean I can't go through that again.
Well, I mean, it would be literally like a million times worse.
Yeah,
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 that's like
because even then you thought maybe he'll be okay. Maybe he's just a lot of
yeah,
bluster.
I do remember when people started doing that. I don't know, maybe the people were hoping he wouldn't just be exactly who he said he was going to be.
Right. And then, but I knew the second he got in, and he's like, even after the inauguration, when he's like, I'm gonna get rid of the health insurance because I didn't like the guy who put it in. I'm like, oh, we're in trouble here.
Yeah.
I mean, that was his
Well, didn't
only.
he? Wasn't he saying he was going to do that? Like, it's amazing because I look back on that election and I don't know. He was crazy then too, right? Wasn't he?
Yeah,
Like, I
he
mean, it
was
wasn't
insane,
just out of
and he's rewriting
nowhere.
history too. During the debate, he was talking about how he saved Obamacare because now he knows that's you can't talk about that. But he's saying this. He's
Oh
like,
yeah, no, he picked up on now. It's just he can just say anything.
right, but it's like there was this. They said he was on
I heard
Gutfeld the
that's
other.
his favorite movie, by the way. Say anything.
But I heard he was on Gutfeld the other day, and he was like, he was talking about how the debate was fixed, and he goes,
Mhm.
and everyone in the audience was freaking out, and they're like, and everyone's like, "There's no audience.
The
There's no
audience
audience."
was going nuts. Yeah,
Yeah. Um. So
that's
I don't.
weird.
Yeah, but in his mind, he doesn't know. He doesn't have to say. It's kind of a peace of mind where you could just say anything, and people just kind of let you get away with it.
Yeah, and I'm sure they were going nuts over there, Gutfeld, for him being on. Why would he go on? I mean, is that where it is? Where it's just like, okay, I need to. I don't know. He just needs his crazy people. I mean,
That's
everyone who's watching that is on board.
yeah, yeah. Sometimes he wants a safe space. I mean, he can't really handle those combative interviews. Obviously, he's like, oh, and in fact checking, they didn't even like. They fact checked him on a couple of things, but it was like these insane statements. I mean, like
Yeah, I mean, the thing that's annoying about this
Democrats
whole.
want to kill babies while after they're born. That's
Oh yeah, they were so mad. They're like, "Sir, no, you can't do that." And everyone's like, "Oh,
yeah.
what
And
the
then
hell?"
they're like they could have fact checked Kamala's, and like they're like her fact checking was like slightly off. Like she said that unemployment was 6.7
Yeah,
when he out of office, but it was 6.5. I'm like, that's you could let
right,
that slide, But he's like,
right.
Democrats are murdering babies
He's like, when
outside.
I was president, there was no unemployment. Everyone had nine jobs.
Yeah, her only mistake
Really?
in that debate was like she never asked that question, "Are you better off than 4 years ago?" I don't know why she didn't just say 4 years ago it was a fucking nightmare. That's what everyone says.
Yeah. I mean, I know that people have a short attention span, but I mean, it's not that short.
But like they're like gas prices went Trump left, we were $1.75. I'm like, because nobody was driving
They
their
used to
car.
pay me to get gas.
Yeah, no one was driving their car because everyone was at
And
home.
then he gets on, he makes it, he does a rally. He's like, I invented gas.
Yeah.
Everyone knows it. I really, the whole everyone knows
Knows
it
it,
is like the most annoying thing. He says the craziest thing and then says everyone knows it.
right. That everyone wanted Roe versus Wade overturned. That was what he said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I know. Every anything he says, everyone knows it. Anything that he did these things.
Well, I think that this like this is why this is kind of unprecedented because we've never in our lifetimes had someone who lost and ran again, and prices always go up. So this is the first time where someone goes, "Oh, when he was president, everything was less." But so
Yeah,
was
8 years ago.
yeah, so was when Bush was president, or like I said, like Lincoln. Oh, if when Lincoln was president, you get a house for 10 cents.
Yeah,
We should
that's
put
true.
Lincoln up.
Those must have been the days when like things, you ever watch something really old and they'll be like, all right, I'll take two gooses and five hens. I'm like, that'll be 5 pieces, please.
Or how about like even like the Pulp Fiction, that part where he drinks the shake. How much is the
Oh
shake?
yeah,
Like
five
$5.
dollar milkshake.
Yeah, and they're like five. It better be a good fucking milk. I'm like $5 for milkshakes sounds pretty cheap right now.
Yeah, I remember in Point Break, there's a part where he orders like two meatball sandwiches and like a turkey sandwich and like two drinks, and they're like, that'll be 350. I'm like, what? Yeah. So anyway, all right. Is there anything else you want to talk about? We can. It's
No,
been about an hour.
I got nothing.
Cool. Me too. All right, everyone. Well, thanks for listening, and join our Patreon and subscribe to my Substack, Tom McCaffrey Substack. And well, I guess we'll see you next week.
Yeah.